Brace yourself for pure mechanical madness. These jaw-dropping logging and firewood machines rip through timber like it's nothing. From brutal splitters to unstoppable jungle beasts, this is raw power you have to see to believe.
Steel, speed, and sheer splitting force. This is the Multitech 2040 Firewood processor in full beast mode. Loaded logs are gripped and advanced with precision by the hydraulic infeed claws, then slammed into a roaring circular saw that slices through hardwood like butter. From start to finish, this machine is a firewood factory on wheels. Automated, aggressive, and engineered to dominate large diameter timber with zero hesitation.
This is where experience meets absolute nerve. An expert logging truck driver threading a fully loaded double trailer rig through a dangerously narrow turn with zero margin for error. The lead truck twists across a two-lane highway, while the overloaded rear trailer teeters off the shoulder, dragging fresh-cut logs and flinging debris across the pavement. With power lines overhead, soft ground below, and traffic on standby, one bad move could flip the load or snap the trailer hitch clean off. But this operator doesn't flinch. Using precise throttle control and calculated wheel movement, he wrangles the beast back in line, balancing tonnage, angle, and momentum like a pro. It's not just driving, it's command under pressure, and it's what separates the skilled from the lucky. Buried deep in thick black swamp mud and hauling a full load of heavy timber, the Timberjack 810B Forwarder unleashes a brutal masterclass in off-road survival. This isn't a trail, it's a battlefield of soaking sludge, axle-swallowing trenches, and tangled roots that twist and bite at anything trying to pass. Its log cradle is stacked to the steel rails with freshly cut hardwood, each log adding crushing weight to an already overloaded frame. Yet the machine claws forward, powered by a heavy-duty articulated chassis and full-length track system designed to handle the extremes. As the tracks sink into the mire, the chassis flexes with every undulation, constantly adjusting load distribution and traction. The Forwarder fights suction from the swamp floor with the precision of a beast that knows how to survive, grinding 1 inch at a time towards solid ground. Every move is calculated, throttle, tilt, steering, all micro-adjusted in real time to keep the Forwarder upright and moving. A single wrong input could shift the load, dig the tires deeper, or send the rig tipping sideways into the pit. But the Timberjack holds on. Its hydraulic system responds instantly, compensating for terrain shifts and weight swings. The reinforced steel frame takes the beating, and the log cage flexes under pressure, but never gives. This isn't just about moving timber, it's about conquering nature with pure mechanical force and operator skill. And in this fight, the Timberjack 810B is built to win. It hits like a factory on adrenaline. This high-speed firewood processor turns raw logs into perfect splits in seconds. As the log rolls in, the serrated circular blade spins to life, slicing through dense wood with ruthless precision. One clean cut and the round slams into the splitting wedge, erupting into flawless firewood with mechanical force. No delays, no hesitation, just pure processing power. In a flash, the finished splits ride up the conveyor, neatly stacked and ready for bundling. This isn't firewood production, it's industrial demolition in action. Drenched in layers of thick, sticky mud and hauling a massive load of freshly cut logs, this tractor-trailer charges into terrain most machines wouldn't dare enter. The overloaded rig plunges into waist-deep brown water, more swamp than road, turning the forest floor into a battleground of traction, torque, and sheer willpower. Every wheel disappears into the mire, clawing against sludge, buried roots, and shifting ruts. The engine growls under the strain, while the exhaust stack spits steam and bubbles as it dips below the surface. Inside the cab, the driver stays locked in, focused, steady, and relentless. This isn't hauling, it's survival. Behind him, the log trailer groans under the weight, each massive trunk stacked tight, threatening to snap chains or sink the frame at any moment. But the forward momentum never breaks. Trees close in, branches whip past. Water slams the tires as the rig rocks violently side to side, yet pushes forward with chains digging, axles flexing, and gears grinding. Inch by inch it climbs from the bog, logs intact, drivetrain screaming, and mud flying in every direction. Power, balance, and pure control. This forwarder makes steep, muddy hauling look effortless. Loaded with massive hardwood trunks, the 8-wheeled beast grips the hillside with brutal traction, lifting the entire bundle with its hydraulic claw and swinging it forward like a battering ram. Each move is calculated, precise, and unforgiving as it hauls timber through rutted forest roads carved by rain and chaos. Despite the incline, uneven terrain, and brutal payload, the machine charges forward with zero hesitation. It's not just logging. This is high-risk recovery in the deep woods, powered by pure hydraulic muscle. Welcome to firewood production at full throttle, where raw timber enters as whole logs and exits as neatly split firewood by the ton. This isn't a backyard setup, it's an industrial-scale operation built for relentless output, precision control, and non-stop efficiency. The firewood yard stretches wide like a mechanical battlefield. Towering piles of incoming logs line one end, ready to feed the machines. At the center, a massive circular saw processor roars to life. Its thick, razor-edged blade slices through each log like butter, turning oversized rounds into consistent lengths in seconds. From there, a seamless conveyor system takes over, shuttling cut rounds directly into high-pressure hydraulic splitters. Deep in the backwoods, a John Deere grapple skidder teeters on the edge of a rain-soaked ridge, blade buried, rear tires hanging, and disaster inches away. Sometimes it's not about horsepower, it's about pure, calculated control. This solo operator backs a compact red tractor deep into the brush, threading between trees on a narrow ridge trail. Locked to a skidder winch and pulling a full-length hardwood trunk,
He maneuvers with inch-perfect steering, guiding the log up and around obstacles without tearing through the forest floor. Each tug on the cable is smooth, steady, and deliberate.
This is raw, unfiltered timber control, where brute force meets human instinct and there's zero room for mistakes. In the heart of this gritty firewood yard, a dense, freshly cut hardwood block, gnarled with knots and weighing close to half a ton, is hoisted and slammed onto the steel beam of a heavy-duty hydraulic log splitter. The operator, coated in sawdust and sweat, grips the massive round with practiced hands, guiding it into position like a heavyweight fighter squaring up for a knockout. No automation, no shortcuts, just muscle, timing, and raw focus. With a flick of the lever, the hydraulic ram roars forward. Steel meets grain with explosive power, driving straight through the toughest fibers like they're nothing.
Disaster hits mid-rescue as a skidder winching another from a steep slope loses grip. The cable's tight, the mud's deep, and in a split-second shift, the rescuer tips, rolling hard down the ridge. Firewood meets factory speed in this relentless, fully mechanized production scene where raw logs are crushed, sliced, and split with industrial precision. At the center is a high-capacity firewood processor supported by a compact excavator fitted with a hydraulic grapple, operating non-stop to keep the system flowing. The excavator grabs full-length hardwood logs from a staging pile and feeds them onto the steel infeed deck with swift, precise movements. Chain-driven conveyors kick in instantly, advancing each log toward the cutting chamber. Within seconds, a heavy-duty circular saw slices the timber into uniform lengths. These fresh-cut rounds drop into a vertical splitting unit, where a powerful hydraulic ram drives them through a multi-way wedge, delivering clean, consistent firewood in one stroke. Overseeing it all, the operator sits in a raised control cabin, maintaining total visibility and control over every phase of the process.
Plunged deep into a snow-blanketed forest, this rugged logging tractor begins its icy ascent up a steep woodland trail, its rear tires wrapped in heavy-duty snow chains biting into the frozen earth with every churn. The surrounding trees stand tall and silent, coated in frost, while the engine growls through the cold, pushing metal and muscle against gravity. With each rotation, the tractor climbs higher, snow spraying from its chains as the operator steers with unwavering focus. Reaching the ridge, the real challenge begins. A tight turn aligns the machine with a heavy load of freshly felled pine logs, stacked like frozen giants.
This is industrial firewood processing at its fiercest, where raw logs are turned into fuel with speed, force, and precision. A massive heartwood trunk, bark still rugged from the forest, is clamped into place. The circular saw roars to life, slicing clean through with a thunderous spin and sending bark chips flying like shrapnel. Fresh-cut rounds roll into the splitting trough, where a hydraulic ram slams them into a multi-blade wedge, cleaving each chunk into perfectly sized firewood in seconds. As the split wood tumbles out, a conveyor lifts it high into growing piles under the cold winter sky. No magical machines, just raw skill and old-school grit.
These two loggers strap a chainsaw mill onto a massive trunk, transforming it into a mobile sawmill right on the forest floor. With steady control, they glide the bar-mounted guide across the log, slicing clean planks with surgical precision. This isn't just manual labor, it's chainsaw milling done the hard way, turning raw timber into usable lumber without ever leaving the jungle.
Crashing through the snow-dusted forest like a beast unleashed, this red logging tractor hauls a towering log with raw, unstoppable power. Pure winter grit in motion.
The moment the loader lifts that raw log off the frozen ground, the operation kicks into high gear. With snow-dusted timber gripped tightly in its hydraulic arms, the yellow skid steer rolls forward and feeds the log onto a steel cradle, lining it perfectly with the processor's infeed. From there, the action turns mechanical, but never slow. A powerful circular saw roars to life and plunges into the hardwood, slicing it clean into measured rounds with machine gun rhythm. Each cut lands with precision, setting the tempo for what follows. The cut sections are immediately pushed into the splitting chamber. Hydraulic pressure surges as each log round is crushed through a heavy-duty multi-wedge head, splitting one massive chunk into a cascade of uniform firewood pieces. No hesitation, no wasted motion. Then comes the cleanup. A rotating tumbler cage starts spinning fast, separating debris, bark, and splinters from the finished pieces. Clean wood drops onto a fast-moving conveyor belt, which launches it upward and over to towering storage piles already packed to the brim. From frozen log to split, sorted, and stacked firewood, every second of this process is raw, relentless, and engineered for scale. This is next-level production where man, machine, and winter timber collide in perfect rhythm.
Buried deep in a frozen forest nightmare, the John Deere 1210G forwarder is fighting for its life. Overloaded with massive timber and crawling across an icy trail of buried logs, this green beast suddenly slips, its rear tires dipping off the frozen edge, sending the entire machine tilting into a snow-choked ravine. The heavy trailer load drags backward, twisting the frame and pushing the suspension to its limit. With the center of gravity off balance and barely any traction left on the icy debris, the 1210G clings to the slope by inches. One miscalculation, and this whole rig could flip into a total wreck.
Meet the Easton-made 1236, a high-output firewood processor built for speed and precision. This beast slices through heavy logs with a massive circular saw, then drives them into a multi-wedge splitter that crushes each piece into clean, uniform firewood. From the automated log deck to the final output chute, every inch is engineered for non-stop production. Thanks for watching this incredible showcase of jaw-dropping logging and firewood machines, a true fusion of power, precision, and unstoppable engineering. From deep forest giants to high-speed firewood processors, every machine in this lineup proved one thing. When it comes to moving timber and splitting logs, the modern forestry world doesn't hold back. These machines aren't just tools, they're the backbone of an industry built on grit, innovation, and raw strength. Whether it's battling brutal terrain, tackling oversized logs, or producing mountains of firewood with mechanical finesse, every scene brought you closer to the extreme edge of logging. If you're passionate about heavy equipment, real-world skills, and the most intense machinery in action, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, subscribe to Tech Trouble, and stay tuned for more next-level forestry action. The forest never sleeps, and neither do we.